so hopping into the draft straight away, we've got Team 1 being HDTV and Team 2 going to be Boom. So, starting off with the bans on Team 1, we're going to have Froggy, Dizzy, and Raylan as the bans on HDTV, and the bans for Team 2 is going to be Scree, Deadlift, and Commander Rocket. Team 1 picks for HDTV are going to be Ted, Derpal, and Jimmy/Amy in the Lux 5000. So that is a lot of beef and a lot of damage. The amount of push that team has is, if they can get a kill, is terrifying. Like, you can like charge somebody into snare traps, you can snare trap into an airstrike and a nuke. And with all the squishies that Team 2 has, with Penny and Nibs, despite the amount of teleports and escape every single one of those characters has, if you get silence traps, oh man, that is going to be absolutely brutal. Team 2 has Ix and Nibs, so they have plenty of initiation with that. Nibs being able to do a ton of damage to stationary targets, which can be quite potent against Derpal, but you have to be careful because you're probably going to eat a nuke if you do that. And, well, with Ix being able to initiate nicely onto the fatter, slower characters like Derpal, he can just pull them into the turret and then start body blocking because Derpal is so slow with a slow jump that is essentially just a small hover. So you can get some easy kills on Derpal like that, but I feel like if Team 1 can get 2 kills early on in the game, they will just snowball. They will be an absolute steamroll if Team 1 can just they have so much push and the ability with this and with the snare trap being able to just lock down any of the squishy characters they get, especially if they get snare trap, or excuse me, if they get snare trap, if they get silence trap, that is going to be absolutely devastating for Team 2. But with Team 2 having the great having a solid counter to Derpal, having the refract able to soak up that nuke, as well as being able to swap Derpal into the turret, they could maybe get a few cheeky kills, and then as long as they play safe and really pump out the damage when they need to onto the one squishy character on the team, aka Ted, they can definitely get some work done. But I feel like this is definitely favored for HDTV, but we'll just have to see and hop into the match. So up to this match right here, I am at the 24-second mark in this replay, and I believe I'm just waiting on FrogZone to set up the match for the stream.
Greetings. Can I also have a match ID for this game so I can join you in the casting, Uberransy?
Oh, is that the legend Eddster?
It is indeed.
Oh.
I have just got back, recovering from some kind of illness, and I'm ready to cast.
Oh man. Well, hey, I'm gonna post that in the chat room that we're using, and you can actually join me. Oh wow. Okay, I guess we'll talk about the drafts a little more. Have you got the draft open, Eddster?
I did a second ago. I saw there was a Derpal and a Ted.
Yes. That's all you need in life, really.
Fantastic.
Anyways, there's the game ID, but if we're waiting on Eddster, which is a pleasant surprise, I don't have to solo cast this. Basically, what are your ideas on the team of Derpal, Ted, and Jimmy on Agulon, just to give you an idea of what HDTV managed to get in the draft?
Well, I mean, you've got a very tanky body, which is very, very effective against some of the bursts that the blue team has in terms of the Ix and the Penny. But then again, you do also have the Nibs. That Fire Breath is just going to be devastating if they're able to catch with the Pulse Slow. But at the same time, the Lux has the ability to go for the item that heals him based on the damage he shields during that charge. So he can just charge at the Nibs basically for free. And if you upgrade the shield as well, you can turn it into a 90% shield, which becomes insane.
An effective 90% shield is just absolutely unheard of. That is just too good.
Yep. Anyway, I think we probably talked enough about the draft with me doing it. It's probably a good idea to start. Was it 24 seconds?
Yeah, 24 seconds. But thank you for joining me, Eddster.
No problem.
Anyways, yeah, I will count us down if that is all right with you.
Good idea.
All right, counting us down from 3 and starting at go. 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off. We've got Pushkin playing Ted on the red team. We've got Zold playing your Derpal, and Badass Sketchup playing the Jimmy in the Lux 5000. Paulo's going to be playing your Ix. Jazz is going to be playing your Penny, and Blah is going to be playing your Nibs. And they're off. The gates have been opened. We've got Stun Pack on Ted right away. Pretty standard stuff. Fat Cat is going to be that little bit of extra range and the AoE damage and poke, which is an excellent upgrade. You're going to have that DOT on Fire Breath with the Eternal Flame. Spider-Bird Collector Badge for that ranged attack. Actually, going to see the ranged Penny right out of the gate, and the DOT on Ix's auto attack. A lot of standard stuff, but I am surprised to see the auto attack, the ranged auto attack right away on Penny.
I mean, it's a good play. Oh, we got a swap going in there. The airstrike's going to land on 2. Repeller's going to refract it, and Bly's going to orb away, so no damage done. Fire Breath doing harass the Badass Sketchup. and both teams just kind of resetting in an early game fight. It is interesting to note that the Lux has no items at the moment. He's definitely going to be saving for danger pins, since you can't quite buy that out of the gate. A lot of Lux players tend to just get some solo and go back, but then they miss the first fight. Pattler doing an excellent swap out the airstrike to save Jazz from some poke there, keeping everyone in lane, ready to keep farming.
Indeed. We got Bad Sketch just clearing the top lane, but the blue team is rotating, might try to catch him out. There's the pulse, but he's going to be able to shield that off and shrug it off. Airstrike coming out is going to be a whiff, though, with Ix just taking a little bit of poke damage, and the invis is going to be grabbed by Bad Sketchup. Paulo's going to be teleporting back right now, so it's going to be a 2v3 for a few seconds here. Bad Sketchup still has that invis, but they're just trying to get some free poke onto this top turret here, and this is what I mean by the amount of push that the red team has. They've got so much range on Ted's machine gun, and with Durple's siege mode, they can just keep poking that turret as much as they want. They can throw nukes at it if they want, and if they have actual droids, then they'll just be able to shred that turret if the blue team doesn't get right on top of that and isn't careful. Blaw's actually going to get caught in the snare trap. There's the airstrike coming out, but the swap is going to save the blue team from taking any damage from that airstrike. Bad Sketchup being low is going to have to back up a little bit as well, and is going to teleport back. Paulo and Jas are going to try and push this top tower, it looks like. There's the snare trap is going to hit Jas as Paulo tries to use the reflect in order to burn it, but doesn't matter. Zolt's going to be going into siege mode, and as soon as he's in siege mode behind that turret, you can't even go near it. It's so much damage from that Durple, and like, you know, being like a 1500 health character behind the turret that you can't even hit. That does so much damage. You really can't even get close to that turret unless you kill that Durple. Unless Durple is on the bottom lane is good, because Durple is just so slow, it's hard for him to rotate. And he's going to throw out the nuke. Isn't going to hit anybody. And Bad Sketchup first rotating to the bottom lane. But yeah, red team's playing a little more defensively now. They're waiting for another good frag here. And Jas is right there. He's trying to get something done. There's the pulse. Blaw's going to go in with the fire breath. Going to get a kill onto Pushkin, with the rest of the red team being very low. A nice swap on Bad Sketchup, but he's going to drop down straight into the creep area. The pulse is just barely going to let Zold and Bad Sketchup live. Just barely, but they're going to have to back up, and the blue team is going to get some excellent push onto this on both lanes, really.
Yeah, that was a really excellent team fight. Great play using the invis from Jas, setting up the pulse, and then allowing Blaw to insta-kill the Ted with that fire breath, because that's something that the red team definitely has a lot of chase damage when it comes down to the Ted and the Lux. They can really pressure the blue team if they don't have anything on cooldown. So it's really important that when the blue team use their abilities, they actually end up killing people. And the Ted is definitely the easiest target for them to kill. The Lux probably the next easiest, but he does have the charge to get away in a lot of situations. They do have Pounce to cancel that charge. So it's going to be interesting to see how the blue team are able to synchronize their abilities. It is also worth noting that with the Ix and Nibs, they have kind of three ways of avoiding the damage that red team has. As we see Blah just used there, he just orbed away from the airstrike, so it's interesting to see this pressure. We've got Jas and Ix looking for the Ted there, they find him, and the red team are kind of... it's not a good sign if you're a Durple player and you've not got map control within the first 5 minutes, and it's going to be hard for them to recover this. They do have the silent snares coming out now, so they do have the potential to get some ganks if the blue team overextend.
Absolutely, and like as I was talking about in the pre-game analysis, like in the pre-game, I was saying like you know, red team will have plenty of snowball if they can get a couple of early kills and, you know, get the map control. It's really easy for Durple and Ted to just keep doing damage to those turrets and getting kills and possibly staggering the blue team. But Pushkin's almost going to die there, and it seems like I've been proven wrong, because the red team hasn't picked up a kill yet. They don't have map control, and the blue team has 2 towers down. So I guess the moral of the story is, don't ever listen to me.
Well, I mean, you said they had snowball potential. You didn't say they were going to snowball, so...
I was confident. Okay, I was confident that they would be able to get like the map control, but the blue team has just kept the pressure on. An excellent swap. This is what I was talking about earlier, though. Dirkwold can just get swapped straight into the fray by Ix, and he's so slow, and there's not much he can do aside from, you know, poop out a trap and then just try to run away for his life. And well, if that doesn't work, then you're screwed, and you're just going to go down. And now Durple's down, and Ted is going to go down as well. Pushkin's going to get killed by the fire breath through the barrier. Now the blue team's just going to keep pushing the bottom tower. They have a super droid. They have droids. It's only Badass SketchUp. There's nothing he can do. Blue team doesn't care. There's the fire breath. Blaw's just going to try and keep him away. It just... There's Zold coming in with the nuke, but it's going to get refracted. Jas is going to get hit by it, but he's got the creeps in order to heal up. And blue team is just...
so bad for red team right now. I honestly don't see a way for them to get out of this. Oh, there's a kill onto Blaw potentially.
Oh no!
Just manages to warp away. But yeah, this is kind of despair moment here for red team. They're just struggling so hard to get anything. They don't have the map control to punish snares, and anytime they're trying to rotate through their own jungle, they can easily be punished by an Invis Ix, an Invis Penny, or even an Invis Nibs. There's so much threats. Here's a swap into the Fire Breath. That's not quite going to be a kill into Durple. And now this is where the red team can potentially get something. But instead of
nuke, Jess is so hurt. Oh, they're not even going to be able to secure anything off of that. They have to back out now, and that bottom turret has no health. Baddest Ketchup is staying in, but he's got low health, and he's the only one defending that bottom lane there. Jas is going to have 3 droids, and is going to have the Gunpenny pushing on the top lane, and although Gunpenny has definitely received some changes and nerfs, it is still very, very potent for pushing towers from a range compared to, well, normal Penny. So you have that AoE, that small AoE, and just the amount of damage you can put out with that auto attack. That bottom tower might just go down now. It's at just a little smidgen of health here, as Jas is going to be teleporting out. And red team might be able to get some map control now. They got some members of the blue team retreating. They need to get some traps and they need to get a kill. There's Fire Breath being wasted there. Bit of a whiff, but the Invis is going to be taken by Ix. Zold's going to be clearing the bottom lane. We got the swap coming out onto Baddest Ketchup. He's going to be using the charge to push away any members of the blue team though. And Jas almost diving into that airstrike, but not quite there. Pushkin going to be going down, really trying to pressure Penny here. He's trying to get some, like an airstrike or some shotgun shells or anything on the Penny. Zold's going to be taking a lot of damage, so he's going to have to back out, as well as the DOT landing on Badass Ketchup. So both of them are going to have to be careful. And oh no, Badass, you knocked the droids into the turret. Luckily, the turret did not go down. But Pushkin's going to be taking a ton of damage from the Psionic Bond. Isn't going to get swapped. Doesn't even need to be. Badass Ketchup is able to pick up a kill in retaliation, but he has no charge and is going to get taken out by Paulo. And now it's a 1v2 here with the bottom tower down. Base exposure in favor of the blue team. They can just push into the base. No, he used nuke. He's got snare trap. He's got snare trap and siege. He can maybe get a snare onto like Blah. Blah used fire breath. Yeah. Oh no, he's gonna get swapped. No, the body block. Oh wow. Is that it? No, Pushkin's back. Pushkin can defend this. Paulo and Blah are by themselves here, and they've got both other members of the red team to deal with. And there's Blah going down, but Badass Ketchup is super hurt now. Paulo's still going to get some more free chip onto the base, taking it down to by about 4 bars. And here's Jas with the Invis. He could try and be sneaky. He's just going to backdoor. There's not much the red team can do about that. Zold's going to be coming back. Red team is still fighting Ix, and Penny is getting a ton of damage on that base. Going to get a couple of bars there, which is some solid poke. You got the super droids coming in as well. Badass Ketchup is going to be charging out of there. There's stun pack used as well. Red team's got to be really mindful of their abilities here, because if they misuse something, like if they don't have nuke or they don't have airstrike, they could be in a lot of trouble if the blue team initiates on top of them. Badass Ketchup going to be going in through the top lane. There's the swap coming out onto Zold. Going to take a ton of damage from the Fire Breath, but he's not dead yet. Badass Ketchup going to pick up the nice frag onto Jas, but Blah going to be picking up Zold in retaliation, making that a 1-for-1. But this team fight is still going. Badass Ketchup going to be taking a lot of damage. Wants to go back in and help Ted. There's not much he can do. He's going to get swapped out of charge. That's a ton of damage from Fire Breath, and Pushkin's going to go down. That's it. That's the end of the game.
That was a complete stomp. I mean, there's not much the red team could have done at that point. Once they stopped kind of having that early game pressure, this all fell apart from them. And I think the biggest thing was definitely the nibs. The nibs damage just was unreal. The red team could just not team fight in the way they wanted to, because if they stood in a predictable place, they just got Fire Breath down. And
yeah,
if they tried to venture unpredictably, the Ix just picked them off. So they were losing no matter what team fight they went for, and it just the only thing they could really hope for was kind of snares randomly doing that. But at this kind of level of play, no one's really just going to walk into a snare. So it's that was not really going to end well for them.
I know, but like the red team, like Team HDTV, that comp is scary. I have to admit that comp has so much potential to just end your game in like 5 minutes. But they didn't get the early frag and map control. The excellent swaps by Ix just shut down Durple early game, and Nibs doing so much damage with that Fire Breath, and even having range, so you can just hit people for ages, having the 50% extra range. Especially an upgrade I really like on Nibs, but it's not bought all the time, which is unfortunate because it's so potent. But having all of that damage on Nibs, and with the excellent shutdowns from Ix, and just cleaning up the kills as well, going 4-0, which is impressive. Just turned that into a steamroll, and it's just wow.
Yep, well, I think that's that game done and dusted. If you are paying attention to the chat, you'll know that Fawx announced a giveaway. So the giveaway is for a couple of skins, and the keyword is I love heart-shaped net, as people are already typing and spamming away. So
I don't have the chat open, but I can just imagine.
Oh, it's just a beautiful wall of I love heart-shaped net.
I mean, they deserve it. Shout out to Heart-Shaped Net for donating like almost $1,000, I think, for this tournament. Seriously,
absolutely, it's insane, really, the support for competitive scene. So
and another thing I'd like to mention is they're Canadian, so they donated all that money in American dollars, and that's like freaking what, like 8 million Canadian dollars is 1,000 US dollars now.
Damn.
It's
Wow.
just like, not really, but yeah, it's just absolutely insane for them to do that. So shout out to them for essentially sponsoring this tournament. But either way, we've been talking long enough after the match. We should head into the next break and we'll be back with the next set of matches.